Hello, beautiful friends. I've been wondering about something lately. What if one of the biggest shifts we can make as human beings isn't even about learning something new, but realizing that some of our oldest fears made perfect sense at the time? Imagine standing outside 3,000 years ago. You don't know what causes lightning. You don't understand bacteria. You have no idea why crops fail one year and flourish the next. Someone you love gets sick, a drought arrives, an earthquake shakes your village, sometimes leveling your village. Your loved one dies from the sickness. From your perspective, the world must have felt incredibly unpredictable. When a world feels unpredictable, our minds naturally start searching for patterns. Maybe we've all done this. You have one terrible day, and suddenly it feels like everything is falling apart. Your brain isn't trying to deceive you, it's just trying to protect you. That's what brains do. One of the most remarkable things I've learned about the nervous system is that it evolved to keep us alive, not necessarily to help us see reality with perfect clarity. Our ancestors weren't foolish, they were brilliantly adaptive. They looked for meaning because meaning increased the odds of survival. If rustling bushes sometimes meant a tiger, assuming there was always a tiger wasn't irrational. It was protective. Sometimes it was even life-saving. But here's the question I've been sitting with. What happens when survival strategies outlive the dangers that created them? What if some of the stories we've inherited were incredibly wise responses to an ancient world, but aren't always the best maps for navigating the one we live in today? That doesn't mean our ancestors were wrong. It means they were working with the best understanding available to them, just as we are. And maybe thousands of years from now, people will look back at us with the same compassion. I've come to think of the gap as the place where this happens, the space between inherited explanations and continued discovery, between what we've always believed and what we're willing to explore next. Science has given us extraordinary tools. Psychology has taught us remarkable things about trauma and the nervous system. Medicine has transformed countless lives. None of that diminishes our humanity. If anything, it expands our capacity for compassion. Because instead of asking, "What's wrong with you?" we're beginning to ask, "What happened to you?" Instead of assuming someone is weak, we ask what burden they've been carrying. Instead of believing fear is always a warning, we begin to wonder whether it's sometimes an echo. Maybe that's what growth has always been, not abandoning the past, but thanking it, learning from it, and continuing the journey. Because perhaps the greatest gift we can offer the next generation isn't certainty. It's permission to keep learning, to let curiosity and compassion walk together, to hold our convictions with humility, to know that we don't know everything, to recognize that wisdom isn't measured by how tightly we cling to yesterday's explanations, but by how courageously we continue seeking understanding. Before we go, if there's one thread woven through everything we explore here in Soul Talks, it's this: curiosities for the human experience. Soul Talks isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating a space where we can become a little more curious about ourselves, one another, and the extraordinary experience of being human. So, wherever this conversation finds you, whether you're rebuilding, creating, questioning, healing, or simply learning to slow down, I am so glad you're here. Until next time, be curious, be creative, be compassionate.